78 here.
Well, so
right?
I don't know if if your conversion rate's off.
Temperature is temperature.
Well, so so here's the thing.
Blood is blood.
Here's what I've heard, and I don't. And Chewy, you can either tell me I'm right or tell me that this is way off. I have heard, and not that I've been down there for it. One of the days I woke up, I went outside, and it was like 40. It was like it is today. It was like 48 degrees. I'm like, this is what it was like at home. And the sun came out, and it ended up being okay. But I have heard that Florida cold is different.
Yes, it's damp.
Is that what it is? Is that what, because I've heard that when it gets to like the low 40s, it just hits you different, and it just feels a lot colder, even when you're up here in Wisconsin. And I just assumed that was because everybody in Florida has their blood thinned out because of the warm weather, and they've just gotten soft over time.
Well, there is that, but I am literally about probably 18 yards from the water.
Okay.
And it's I don't know, it's got to be high 50s, but yeah, it's different. It's chilly. Like dry cold. God, I mean, that's not bad, right?
But
0 degrees.
I've never heard anybody talk about dry cold. I've heard dry heat, like when we're talking about Arizona.
No, it's dry cold.
So it works the other way, too. The inverse also works.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But this is
straight. I think this is all bull honky. I think it's soft.
Gabe, what's the coldest you could play golf in Wisconsin?
Coldest I could play golf. I mean, coldest I have played golf in Wisconsin, probably like 38.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Like, I don't think I couldn't play golf yet. It's too cold. I mean, it's probably around 60.
What do you mean you couldn't play golf? You played in the frozen tundra. You played football.
Yeah, I know, but that just destroyed the body. It's like putting, I don't know. And that was 30 years ago, Josh. Your blood does thin out when you get older, though.
Okay.
Why? I mean, old people around here are wearing coats when it's high 70s. So there's got to be something.
Like a light jacket, though, right? We're not talking about like the heavy winter coat.
I've seen heavy coat. Not a winter coat, but more than a thin coat. Like what you're wearing.
Just like the vest.
Like I have to go to the Ohio State today, and it's 50, and I have no idea how to pack.
Well, probably because all your winter stuff is back here in Wisconsin.
I'll tell you how. You wear pants and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, but I don't want to wear that.
Then don't. So your choices. Here are your choices. They're simple. They're simple choices. Wear what Joshy suggested and be comfortable.
Yeah.
Or wear your traditional shorts and zip up and be cold.
No, that's way too cold. Way too cold.
That's what I'm saying.
And I hate wearing jeans. I hate wearing jeans.
I thought you found a pair that you really liked, though.
I think
they still suck.
Huh? I think you're doing jeans wrong.
No, I have not worn jeans probably. When was the last time I wore jeans down here? It's probably been 2 months.
You can get yourself a nice...
No, they're not comfortable. I don't care what you say. Shorts. Look, I'm taking this from a man that wears shorts 24/7, 365. Josh, I've never seen you in pants.
I wear pants 90% of the time.
Well, so he only sees you in shorts because he's up here when it's warm.
Right. In summer, yeah, I do wear shorts. Of course. Because I haven't worn shorts out of the house since, like, October.
You're not going to tell me that jeans are more comfortable than shorts.
That's not what I was saying. I was saying there are types of jeans, now Levi's has them themselves, where they have a stretch to them. So you are getting a softer material and more give in it. These come standard. These are standard flight. But you can't tell when you look at them that they look like they have a stretch, but they stretch in the thighs. They stretch around the knees. They stretch around the butt.
Like, I'm going to wear what are they called? Joggers, Gabe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Where it kind
good.
of,
they
you get the elastic around.
Great, but they bunge in the crotchal region. And there's nothing worse on a plane than having bunge. Now, Now, the nice thing about these shorts that they make now, Gabe, unbelievable. So I was on a flight down here one time where I love Oakley. Oakley are the best, right?
Okay.
Dump my full glass of wine on my shorts.
On the plane?
Yeah. And it just rolled right off.
Oh, moisture wicking.
What material is that?
I'm guessing it's similar to. Have you ever bought? And again, maybe you don't play as much golf anymore, so maybe you don't. Have you ever bought like rain gear?
Yeah,
I would assume it's kind of similar to that.
But I don't
want to say,
pants,
where it's just kind of it's water repellent and the water just kind of is able to wick away.
But I hear the pants that you wear now. There's no need for rain gear anymore. Is that true?
I mean, maybe there's pants that you can buy that are more expensive, but I mean, I'm just wearing, Adidas, I guess golf pants is what they would be. I would want, if I was playing golf in these and it started to rain, I would want my golf pants because these would get very wet very fast.
Yeah, there is definitely a need for rain gear. It's just the rain gear doesn't look like it used to. The rain gear looks more like the standard issue stuff, but it is still specified for it. So you don't look like you're wearing a trench out there.
Yeah.
But it like you could get like a quarter zip that will be like rain resistant, and you'll be fine and look like you're just wearing a normal quarter zip.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why the dress never took off for men. Because you got airflow down there. You don't have bunge. It's probably a lot more comfortable. Like the kilt way back then, they had a good idea there, and then it went away.
Okay.
Do you agree?
I mean, it's not a thought that ever had crossed my mind.
No.
It'd be more comfortable.
What?
We
spent a lot of time on shrinkage on this program. Too much airflow could be a problem.
Joshy, we've all had the swamp tail.
Yeah.
Right? You never hear about girls having swamp tail.
Well,
I'm guessing they do. They just don't talking about it. Yeah, I don't think they're talking about it. I know we have some female listeners on the show, so hit us up on the talk and text line, on the Carbless talk and text line, 800-990-3776. Of course, we do this the day that Jen is not here because, I mean, women certainly will wear shorts, will certainly wear dresses. I want to know which,
Here's the plain and simple of it. Go to AmFam Field.
Yeah.
Go on a hot day with the roof open.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Watch people walk by you. Every person, despite their gender, will have swass. They'll have some serious swass.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Especially on a day game on the third base side.
Yes.
You are basically cooking on the third base side.
Let me ask you this. If it's in, I'm not talking right now, but if it was in, would you wear like Lululemon, what do they call them, yoga pants? Now, those look really comfortable, right?
Here is the problem with yoga pants in men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, women can wear them, and there's not just a bulge.
Yeah, they don't have an appendage in the front.
That becomes the problem with the tight yoga pants is you kind of, it's all just there for you to see.
Men's bodies are hideous. Most of them are hideous, right?
Look, not disagreeing.
Also correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you can get past that all.
But that's a lot.
I know it is a lot, but
it's a big leap.
The older you get, I'm telling you, the older you get, the less you care.
Well, yeah. Have you ever been in a men's locker room?
Unfortunately, yes.
No, like a gym locker room, not like an NFL locker room, like a gym locker room. I guarantee you, the 25 to 35-year-olds are making sure they're covering up.
Yeah.
The guys who are walking around for you to see everything.
Why do you got so many feet on benches?
Yeah.
Why?
Good point.
Yeah, they got the towel around them. Yes. Okay. Oh, hey, somebody who actually decided to cover up, and then they put put the foot up on the bench, and now I can see everything again.
Because when I'm in the gym locker room, I will be naked for a split second.
Yep.
Because I put my underwear on. It's like
you got to drop the towel in order to put the undies on.
No, I don't.
But there's a lot of just lounging.
Yeah. What do you mean you don't?
I don't, because how do you go from where I was at, playing for the Packers, where 60% of the bodies in there are solid, man. They're chiseled.
Mm-hmm. Have to be.
I mean, the O-line and D-line are kind of
Sure.
How do you go from that to crusty satchel in the gym locker room? But they're proud. I don't understand where the proudness comes from. Because I can tell you this. When I'm 70 years old, I ain't going to be proud about my body, and I'm certainly not going to be flaunting it.
Is it pride or is it just a lack of caring?
Yeah.
Because I think it could just be a lack of caring.
Yeah.
It's for sure lack of care, and also like I also think a certain amount is like just a lack of awareness. They are so in their own world that they aren't even thinking about the guy standing behind them as they do the old between the legs shimmy with the towel. We don't need that happening.
Like if your house is dark, let me ask you this.
Okay.
If your house is dark, you took a shower, and you forgot something that you were going to wear is in the dryer.
Yeah.
Lights are off. I walk there naked. Do you guys do that?
Yeah, but also one of my favorite features of my house, Chewy, is that the laundry is upstairs, and literally it's probably 10 steps. It would take me 10 steps to get from my shower to the dryer.
Now, these windows that they make today, you can't see inside.
Depending upon the windows.
It would depend on the window you
depends
get.
upon the windows.
Some windows are just straight up windows. Let me tell you, I've seen into people's houses.
I would like to, and I don't know if we track these types of things, Josh. Maybe this just ends up being the runaway winner. But I would like to nominate this text from Linda as our carbless talking text of the year. 800-990-3776. Linda in the Falls. Dresses are way more comfortable in the heat than anything else. The airflow cannot be denied, but it does not prevent swamp ass.
Yeah, but at least you're getting circulation up there. We just need some guys with some nuts.
Here's where I need you to
wear
stop.
A dress.
I need you to stop. We just had a dress wearer who said the flow is nice, but you still get swamp ass. So your whole theory now, you need to go back to the drawing board. You can't just power through. She told you. We went to the source.
Yeah, but I guess.
Again, the airflow. Again, she said the airflow cannot be denied, and I'm guessing that would feel nice on a hot summer day. You get a little breeze, but again, the swamp ass is unavoidable no matter what you're wearing.
It seems to be the only advantage is you're slightly less uncomfortable with your swamp ass.
Because you're getting benefits elsewhere.
Right. That seems to be
the only... Well, then why can't they have, like in cars, they've morphed into like cooling things in the seats now.
Okay.
So you want those in our pants?
Battery controlled where you just got, because I don't care what jeans are not comfortable. They're just not. There's so many better things in jeans.
So what are you going to wear to the Ohio State University?
I'm going to wear the joggers.
So you're just going to deal with the bunching?
Yeah.
Or
because they're more comfortable than jeans.
The bunging, excuse me, not the bunching.
Maybe
bunching.
My problem is, you guys remember this. My son wanted for Christmas like $300. I'm not buying him $300 pair of jeans.
Yep.
Okay? The $70 jeans are fine.
Sherry chiming in on the Carbless Talking text line. How do you guys walk around with those things?
Yeah.
LOL. Seinfeld.
Yeah. So, why? How much do you pay for your jeans?
The last time I bought a pair of jeans, I probably paid, I don't know, $35, $40.
All right. Joshy?
Anywhere from like 50 to like 70-ish, but I typically buy the ones that I find for cheap because I'm not super picky on like the cut and the it's like, do they fit, do they feel good? Great, they're jeans, I'm wearing them.
Like Gabe, I struggle to buy a Robot. It's hard for me.
Well, because it's
hard
because you're a large human being. I got to imagine buying all clothes is tough for you.
No, what's a Robot short sleeve cost?
The short sleeve is like, I don't know, $85, $90.
I mean, that's a ripoff. I mean, that cost them maybe $3. No,
it's expensive. But they are, honestly, they're my favorite polos that I have. And now I'm just doing a live read for Roback, even though we've tried to get them to sponsor the show and they haven't.
Gabe, do you have a separation of jeans where these are the comfortable everyday jeans and these are like the nicer elevated jeans that I hardly wear? Because I've got many levels of jeans.
I have 2 pairs of jeans.
Only 2?
I have 2.
Wow.
That's all I got. And they're both the same. One is One's a lighter blue, the other's a darker blue. They're the exact same pair because I found they were comfortable. I'm just going to get 2 pair. We're going to wear these until they wear out because I've kind of graduated to this point where like I basically just wear like golf pants.
Yes.
Like I found some golf pants that are comfortable that I've gotten for cheap, and I just kind of rotate through those. And every once in a while, I'll throw on a pair of jeans. Because I'm with Chew. Like the golf pants that I'm wearing more comfortable than jeans. They're softer. They're just better.
So the thing here for Chew is the price tag is going to make him gasp, but everyone swears by the Lululemon pants.
Yeah,
they don't fit me.
Oh, they don't? You've tried them?
European clothes. European clothes? No, their double X is like a large American.
It's Lululemon European.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I think it's just because it sounds funny.
Let's see where Lululemon was founded. Very quickly here.
London. I think it was London.
Canadian.
Sure.
Canadian.
Nailed it.
No, you both were wrong.
I was on the right continent.
Yeah, but they still put the Queen on their money.
No,
so
they still no. They still associate with it. Like they honor the king. Well, a lot of people would disagree with that.
Vancouver, but it was incorporated in Delaware.
Yeah, I told you. You know why? Because
this is more my side. I'm winning. You're losing.
Nah, I think you said it was European. I think Chewy said it was North American, if I recall.
That's a lie. Look, Canada.
All right,
to England is like Alaska to the United States. It's the same thing.
What does that mean?
All right. I don't know what that means. We're getting sidetracked. Jason Wilde is patiently waiting. I know he's listening because he sent us a text talking about the bunge in Chewy's crotchal region. We'll discuss that with Jason Wilde coming up next. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Starting off with a nice quiet ride this Friday morning. No major problems around the area. We are at full freeway speeds and super light volume. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds and breezy. A chance for afternoon showers with a high of 55. Tonight, a slight chance for rain or snow flurry. Cloudy, breezy, a low of 26. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Relief from hip and back pain can be a reality when you work with the experts on a mobility and flexibility routine. That's why StretchLab was founded. Pro athletes and sports fans alike love StretchLab for our customized one-on-one assisted stretch sessions. Discover the difference a good stretch can make, because when your body moves better, you feel better and live better. Visit your local StretchLab today or go to stretchlab.com and use code FAN10 to get up to 50% off your first 50-minute stretch. Plus, receive an additional $10 off.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's, flavor is our family's business.
Brewers opening day is coming up on Monday, March 31st against the Royals. Be here for the first crack of the bat, the first pop of the glove, and that first taste of summer as we celebrate the start of a new season. The party starts pregame with live entertainment and a national anthem performance by singer-songwriter Allison Mahal. Plus, get here early for a special pregame tribute to Bob Uecker. You don't want to miss out on one of the biggest days in baseball. Get your seats for opening day now at Brewers.com.
Ready, down, put.
All Packers, all the time.
He was a field tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Before we get to Jason, there is one more Carpless Talk and Text I would like to get to on the Carpless Talk and Text line, 800-990-3776. Chef Ed saying, wow, thanks for ruining my breakfast. I now have the vision of Chewy in spandex. So, in case you're just joining us, that's what you missed in the first segment. You can always go back and listen later on Wisconsin On Demand. But right now, we welcome in our friend. We welcome in our teammate. We welcome in Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason.
I don't have to go back on Wisconsin On Demand. I've been listening.
But Jason, you're a guy that likes to try to wear shorts all year long, or do you?
I am, yes. One of the few things Brett Favre and I have in common. So just to recap, I mean, first of all, it is amazing to me that we have two Packers Hall of Famers on our team.
Yep.
And that both of them have this uncanny ability. They know football. There's no doubt about it. And on occasion, they even deliver insight about football. But more often than not, they're talking about something else. And you're sitting there at the beginning going, this guy's an idiot. And then you listen a little longer, and you're like, no, he really isn't. This is really good, and this is really interesting. At least that's the experience I had during the first 22 minutes of the program. So I am on Team Gabe first, that I only own 2 pairs of jeans. By the way, your golf pants are probably dressier than anything anyone else would wear, right? So those are great.
Aside from the ones that have wacky logos.
Yes. Outside of those, sure. Although I have worn some to fancier occasions.
Went to a wedding, had my ESPN Milwaukee golf pants on. Everybody loved them.
Well, Jason, I think it all stems from the job we had where I literally wore the sweats that I would get from Red Batty home and then wear them back again the next morning. Greatest job in the world.
Let's give people a little insight into the equipment room. There's also something that the guys call some grays. They call them grays. Which are free gray, poorly constructed boxer brief style underwear. Yep. And throughout my career, the number of times a guy who is at his locker asks a guy who is walking to the equipment room, which they're renovating right now, along with the locker room, by the way, hey, get me some grays. And you guys don't even buy your – now, I will say today's players, there's a lot of fancy schmancy, expensive underwear that they wear, colorful patterns and whatever else. But there's a bunch of cheapskates like Chewy that love the free underwear along with the free sweatpants and the free quarter zip or hoodie or whatever else. So, and I, spending as much time in a locker room as I do, I was a very early adopter of, I'm going to dress like these guys. Don't fill out the shirt quite the same way. A little more like an offensive lineman, a little less like the Adonises that walk the room elsewhere. But I am always wearing shorts. I have those 2 pairs of jeans just like Gabe. And I finally, after all these years, have found a track pant or a running pant that is tapered at the bottom but doesn't make my catcher's legs in the calf area look enormous, and doesn't have the to quote you, bunge in the crotchal region.
It's important to avoid, Jason. Very important to avoid.
Yeah, the problem is they're a Nike pants. I mean, you guys are giving out free advertising.
Yeah, right.
Popcorn today. So, but they don't make it anymore. So I found this one pair at a Goodwill. And then I had to find the style number, and now I have like a saved search on eBay for every time these pants become available so I can stock up because they're the only track pant that I'll wear. All the other ones are either bell-bottomy at the bottom or the aforementioned crotchal region issue. So this has been extremely instructive. If people tuned in for Packers talk, they were sorely disappointed. But, hey, it's the NCAA tournament. The Packers aren't signing anybody beyond Mecole Hardman, it would appear, so you're not really missing much.
So this is how it works, Jason, in case the people were wondering. You get, and you know because you've seen, the bins and stuff, so you get like a perforated bag, right? It's like a mesh bag that you put your compression shorts in, your shorts, your socks, anything in there except for your jersey. That
the laundry bag.
Separate. The laundry bag.
It's got a number
what
on
we
it.
would do in college,
number on it. Yep.
What we do in college is we'd put our underwear in there because the worst thing in college is doing laundry. Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd put your essentials in there and have, the training staff wash that stuff for you. And then in college, we got in trouble for stealing towels from the hotels you stayed in.
Because they were nice towels.
Because after a while, your towels start to stink, and once again, no one wants to do laundry, so we got in trouble doing that.
So,
but it's
did
actually
you play
a really
for
good
Coughlin?
system. Yeah.
Well, I could say, that doesn't surprise. I'm guessing other coaches might have let the towels slide.
They didn't because then the hotel was billing the team, and that was a 5 a.m.
How many towels were you taking?
Well, one a week, right? I mean, how often do you wash your towel? I go a week.
Yeah,
yeah, that's fair.
About a week?
This is I live with 3 people that apparently think they live in a hotel because they use their towels once.
Yeah, it's true.
And I use mine for at least a week and probably too long. So as the laundry person, it is incredible how many towels I do in a given week, given that this is not a Marriott.
So what? I mean, how many towels do you own?
Well, I do laundry. I always do at least one load of laundry during the day. Again, I don't want to make any assumptions. I love the girls and I love Paula very much, but I don't think they appreciate the level of laundry they generate. In fact, yesterday, UW Oshkosh women were playing in the Final Four, and that was a 2-hour game. And I had generated so much clean laundry that I had not folded that I was able to watch the entire game while sorting and folding. And by the time I got to the end, I had about 4 pieces of laundry, and everything else belonged to someone else in my house.
Jason, we were talking to Kevin Harlan yesterday, and a big part of the conversation was about his dad, who I know you love him. I love him. I don't know a person that's ever said a disparaging word about Bob Harlan. But it got me to thinking, is there going to be a noticeable difference when Ed Policy takes over for Mark Murphy?
Well, there will be for me because the president will talk to me.
Presumably. Or at least have a chance of talking to you.
No, Ed and I have again, I am going to always be critical when I feel it's fair, whether that's about ticket prices or them trying to stop paying taxes to the city of Green Bay. But I think I've had a ton of really good conversations with Ed. I like him. And if I fundamentally disagree, I think we can disagree without being disagreeable. And look, I think Mark Murphy, from a financial standpoint, has done an outstanding job. And he got both of his hires right. They haven't won a Super Bowl yet, but the GM was a good hire and the coach was a really good hire. So I don't think Mark Murphy has had a bad run. I do think he is prone to verbal missteps, but I think he's done a very, very good job. That said, I think, I still have questions about whether the structure is the best one, because the whole idea was to eliminate the silos that had existed. And I don't think that those in any way have been truly eliminated. So
I heard you talking a little bit about that. I think it was yesterday on KBN, Jason, where there used to be a pretty, and again, if anything I say here is incorrect, please step in and correct me.
Especially since they are always trying to trick me into a sound graph, then I have to have all these people on Twitter tell me what an idiot I am. So yeah, please.
But there used to be a fairly large divide between LaFleur and Gutekunst. And you think that has kind of shrunken down. So with policy, is that going to be part of his job to make sure that there's not really a gap between the head coach and GM because they do both report to him?
Yeah, so the issue that I have with that conversation, and I said it to those knuckleheads, was that basically, look, I don't know where that relationship is right now because I haven't talked to Matt about it. And I think Goody is, again, a lot like Ted. Like, I think he's an old scout, not as old as Ted was, obviously. And he just grinds on players and evaluations and the personnel side. I think he's strong with personnel, and he's not as strong with personnel, if that's fair.
Yeah.
And so I just don't think that, whereas – because they were asking me about these other NFL coaches, like the role that Kevin O'Connell has in Minnesota deciding what they're going to do at quarterback. Like, I still don't believe that the Rodgers thing is dead. Like, I'm looking at that as we're going to see what J.J. McCarthy looks like in the spring. You don't like to come to the off-season program anyway, and we'll make it work for you. But if he doesn't look good to us, stay by your phone for FaceTime calls since you don't get any reception in Malibu. But my point is that they were asking, these coaches seem to be part of the conversation a lot more. And I don't know if that has changed or not in terms of the way LaFleur and Goody talk about personnel moves. But once upon a time, it was suboptimal. Right? I mean, it just wasn't. It was clear that Goody was making decisions, and LaFleur had little to no input. And if he did have input, oftentimes it was ignored. And look, Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren didn't always see eye to eye on players either, especially that idiot tight end they drafted in the 6th round back in 1992. But Ron always said, look, I'm never going to give you a guy that you absolutely do not want. And I think that that's a reasonable thing, but I would argue that collaboration is much more productive. And I just don't think, again, this is not something I've discussed with LaFleur as of late, but I know once upon a time he didn't feel like his opinion was valued. And maybe that has, since these guys have now been together going on, what is this going to be, LaFleur's 7th year as the coach?
Yes.
By the way, that's how long Holmgren was the coach, to put that in perspective.
Oh, wow.
So I would hope that there would be a greater level of collaboration now than there was early on.
I think that's fair.
Do you think deep down, though, LaFleur wants that power? Because Holmgren obviously left. He left after 7 years because he wanted the power of GM and head coach.
I don't want to speak for Matt. But I don't think he wants that power. What I think he wants is to be part of the process. And I don't, and maybe he is now. So, or maybe he is to a greater degree. But again, he's not going to the NFL scouting combine. So to me, when coaches don't go to that would indicate to me, and maybe I'm assuming incorrectly, but that would indicate to me that their say in personnel is not optimal. Now, I don't think Sean McVay goes, and Sean McVay obviously works really well with Les Snead, so that's not necessarily true of their relationship. But again, I believe in collaboration. I want to have conversations with everybody, and it doesn't mean I'm going to take everybody's advice the same. Doesn't mean I'm going to do something that you asked me to do because I collaborated with you. If I think something is a better idea, I'm going to go with that. But I think it's important for people to feel included and that their opinion matters. And maybe that is now the case. But early on in their tenure, 19, 20, 21, I don't think that there was that feeling. While Rodgers was sitting there going, they don't care what I think. I wonder how much Matt LaFleur could identify with that feeling.
Jason, always appreciate the time. Look forward to hearing more of it coming up. Wilde and Tausch starts at 9 a.m. here on 94.5 ESPN.
All right, fellas, take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde joins us 3 times a week here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We are going to get to our weekly conversation with Craig Carmason coming up next, but I do want to tell you that you should be making plans to stop by Bunzel's this week and grab some of these homemade specials. Frozen Canadian walleye fillets, $14.99 a pound. Bunzel's homemade fresh stuffed pork tenderloins are $7.99 a pound. The marinated chicken wings, which are fantastic, but do come in a bunch of different flavors. Bourbon, buffalo, California garlic, Louisiana Bayer flavored. Those are $6.89 a pound. Bone-in pork steaks are $3.99 a pound. I talk about them each and every week. Great family-owned and operated company that provides amazing homemade food. And I'm not going to lie. I've been on the road doing some vacation stuff, Vegas, Florida, the last couple of weeks. I am going to go to Bunzel's this weekend, and I cannot wait to be able to make some homemade Bunzel's food because, again, their quality, to me, is a step above everybody else. Bunzel's, 90th and Burleigh. Find all their weekly specials and more. Bunzels.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking good out on the roads. Really nothing to worry about right now other than a broken down vehicle or two that are as well out of traffic, not affecting the ride at all. Volume is relatively light, so it's a pretty typical Friday morning. When business brings you to Milwaukee, the Knickerbocker on the Lake is your home base. Enjoy modern meeting rooms, lakefront views, and refined dining. Visit knickerbockeronthelake.com to book today. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Increasing clouds and breezy, a chance for afternoon showers, a high of 55. Tonight, slight chance for a rain or snow flurry, cloudy and breezy, a low of 26. Weather is brought to you by InfinityExteriors.com, dedicated to saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Mother Nature can be unpredictable. Your roof, siding, and windows shouldn't be. We install peace of mind with transparency and quality guaranteed. Visit InfinityExteriors.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from ESPN Milwaukee's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Golf season is going to be here before you know it, so you have to make sure you're ready to go at X Golf in Brookfield or X Golf in Mech 1. Take advantage of the state-of-the-art simulators that they have to make sure your game is in the best shape it possibly can be. Maybe you need a lesson from one of their PGA pros to make sure you're beating your buddies when it's time to play outside. Plus, you can take advantage of the great food and drink specials that they have. Book a tee time today, xgolfbrookfield.com or xgolfmech1.com.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Ashton Rotman with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
This week's UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week is to athletes and the Wauwatosa East girls basketball team winning their first WIAA basketball title since 1981. The squad, however, was led by one particular player, Micaiah Litza, scoring 32 points and grabbing another 9 boards plus 5 steals, helping lead a overtime thriller of a victory 59-58 over Edgewood in that state victory. And not to be forgotten, it was the 100th career win for head coach Mary Murd of Tosa East High School. Congratulations to this week's UW Credit Union Student Athletes of the Week, the championship Tosa East girls basketball team.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
It's Friday, and that means it's time to check in with GKB President Craig Carmason.
Gabe, you're right. I actually just looked at the stats. No hypocrite has ever won a championship.
Fridays with Mo.
Mark Attanasio, the last thing he wanted to do was play a video and tribute Craig Counsell in any way. So I give Mark Attanasio a ton of credit.
Craig Carmason on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy is sponsored by Landworks Landscape Services. Their creative and talented team will design, build, enhance, and maintain beautiful landscapes in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more and see their work at landworkswisconsin.com.
It's Friday, gotta get down on Friday.
Always love catching up with Good Karma Brands founder, CEO Craig Carmason each and every Friday. Good morning, Craig.
Good morning, guys.
How many pairs of jeans do you own?
Like 7.
Do you have them separated into different categories? Because I only have 2 pairs of jeans. Like one is slightly darker blue than the other, whereas Josh has jeans that are like dressier jeans that you could wear to maybe nicer places. Whereas Chewy, you got 1 pair of jeans, big guy, and you absolutely hate them.
I got 2.
You got 2?
2. Yeah.
I got black. I got gray. I don't know enough about clothes to know which ones are nicer or not, but I got different shades of blue. I got 7, 8 pairs.
What do you mean you don't know? It's about how they look. I guess I don't care. The price is irrelevant in terms of how nice they are. It's just how they look.
But I don't know. I don't know fashion. I don't know, for a while, ripped jeans were, dressier. And, there's certain, kinds of jeans that, could give off different vibes. I'm not into clothes, so I don't know the vibes that the clothes are giving off.
You just kind of slap him on.
He's clearly not into clothes because he was the worst dresser when we do the Sunday show for you. Right, Craig? You weren't very good.
Yeah. Oh, no. I'm fortunate that I have a friend who dresses me during important situations, but besides that, I don't know what I'm wearing. I have no clue. I'm not into fashion.
All right, Craig, question for you. You ever run a 5K?
Yes.
You ever been Okay, so we both have daughters.
I did a half marathon a few months ago.
Okay, so I'm going to Ohio State. It's Parents' Weekend up there to see my daughter, and there's a 5K run. So my wife was going to run it, and my daughter. And I said, all the parents were going to walk it or whatever. And I said, I'll walk it because my knees are kind of 10-man-ish now. So they say, oh, great. They were all excited until they told me it's a powder run. You ever heard of that?
No, I don't know.
Is that where you get things thrown on you and then you're in the different colors by the end of it?
Yes. So once I heard that, I said, yes. I said, I'm out. I am not doing that. And obviously there was disappointment. Was I wrong in backing out? Because I don't think I am.
Yes.
No.
What are you worried?
Stuff at me?
But what are you worried is going to happen? I don't know. I assume this is a lot of people are doing this. This isn't dangerous. What were you worried about?
Taking the dirty clothes and all I bring is a backpack, which I bring very little clothes, and it's going to be a big mess. And I don't want to deal with a big mess. And I don't want to have to pack more clothes.
In College Town, maybe not the best hotel, so you don't know the shower is great, and you're going to have all this powder on you. I think for you that's a good spot, Chewy. I think it's fine that you didn't walk it. I'm not killing you for that.
Even though they're sad.
Yeah, I think that's fine for you. Yeah, you could say it's the head injury, you get upset. I think it's a good call.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you would be – look, they don't want you doing this because then you would be miserable the rest of the day and trip.
Totally.
And you would be bringing everybody down. So while there's initial sadness, there would be more disappointment from them later when you were being a pain in their ass.
And I'm only bringing 1 pair of shoes. So those shoes would probably get smoked, and then, it's just...
I mean, we do have to understand.
And one pair of underwear also. I feel like that somehow comes into play here.
You could just bring a slightly bigger bag and accommodate all of these things if you so choose to. It wouldn't be that difficult.
Oh, that's a good call. That is a good. But Chewy changing the bag that he was planning to bring to somewhere, even if it was a month before, that's a major change.
Yeah.
No, that's just not possible, Josh. I don't know what you requested something impossible. I don't know why you would even think this.
Yeah, I never even considered that Chewy could change the bag he was going to bring somewhere.
No, it's because you've known him for so long. Like Joshy's still, in the early stages of working with Chewy compared to you, Craig.
You could go just from backpack to duffel and accomplish all your goals.
No, but there's one thing you're forgetting. There's one thing you're forgetting.
I want to hear this. Yeah.
I have to carry my wife's bag, too. So I carry 3 bags. She carries 1. And I don't think I could handle bumping up that bag because I need something over the shoulders, right? That's fair.
He's only got 2 hands.
I think for a weekend, I guarantee you could do it. Chewy, when's the last time you changed, when you changed what bag you might bring for a trip, and how late was that decision?
I need I need days.
Yeah.
You know.
Has that have you already packed the backpack?
No, heck no.
But it's just sitting there ready to go.
But the problem is this: now Southwest is going where you have to pay for your bag, so you got to rethink that whole thing there, right? Because a carry-on is a lot less than the checked luggage.
Well, yeah, because the carry-on's free.
I don't know if it's free anymore.
Yeah, carry-on's still free.
Yeah.
It is still free? Okay,
yeah.
So I'm all about the carry-on.
All right.
Right, which a duffel bag that Josh is suggesting would still be a carry-on.
Which, would easily fit inside carry-on.
Did you go to the games yesterday, Craig, at Fiserv?
I did go to the game last night. I'm here in Los Angeles, where the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Los Angeles Lakers at Crypto.com Arena.
How you feeling?
Physically, because it's early in the morning, or about the Bucks?
About the Bucks.
I am feeling that last night did not tell us much. You look at the Lakers bench, and you saw Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura, and you saw LeBron James, and you saw Luka Doncic. And so I don't think last night told us absolutely anything about the Bucks. But there are 3 more games on this road trip, which I think will tell us something. Suns are playing a little better. The Denver Nuggets are a team that the Bucks beat, but I know the Nuggets have been resting some players, but they'd like to beat the Bucks. And the Sacramento Kings are a pretty good team at home, even though they lost to the Bulls last night. So I think these next 3 games tell you something. And if the Bucks win 2 out of 3, I think they probably get back into a tie with the Pacers for the 4 spot, and they're leaving a really, really tough road trip where you want to be.
Craig, we talked a little bit about this yesterday with the tournament kicking off. What is your favorite sports day of the calendar year?
Wow. I mean, that Thursday and Friday, yesterday and today are just so good. I don't know that anything can be better in terms of the volume. As an NBA fan, I love those first days of the playoffs now where you get 4 games, but first round of the playoffs, could be up and down. I don't know. Chewy, are you first day of the NFL season still?
No, Masters.
Which day? Moving day? Friday? Which day?
I love day 1 in the man cave by yourself when that music first comes on. That's probably my favorite. And then it's followed.
Joshy really hasn't been with you for a while, by the way. The fact that Joshy let you say that Masters first day when the music comes on and he didn't have the music playing on in the background for you, that's really you and Joshy must be still new in this relationship.
No, we did have a guy. You fired him, I think, right after the show.
Yeah.
Where he came out with something. I said, hey, I didn't even know his name. He wasn't here long enough. Where I said, hey, can you bump with the Masters stuff? And he played Beethoven's Fifth. I'm like, what are you doing? Remember that, Craig? And then he was mysteriously gone.
I don't.
You know what? If you want to have a reunion for me,
if
you want to have a,
thank you for clearing that up, Craig.
If you want a reunion,
indication.
If you want a reunion for me, bring back every producer that did our show in this show. I mean, remember Doc? Do you remember Doc?
I don't think even Gabe knows Doc.
I have no idea who Doc is.
If anyone's listening, maybe someone who's listening right now could text the Carbless Talking text line. If you know Eric Doctorman, that was his name.
He was a weird dude. Weird. Dude, and then there was the time, Gabe, where Dan Dragon's...
Doc was funny.
Dan Dragon's mother came to the studio to confront me because I was being too mean to her son.
True story.
Did you back down?
If anyone knows Eric...
No.
Yes.
I did? I kind of
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
If anyone's listening knows Eric Doctorman in the Wisconsin area, I heard he became a pharmacist, which I feel like, Chewy, you usually befriend pharmacists. And maybe he just went to work at a Walgreens after GKB. But I thought he became a pharmacist. If anyone listening has the...
You know who I could ask?
Eric Doctorman.
I could ask the Blammer, because the Blammer worked for Walgreens for years. We may have an in.
Wait, he's just got like a database of all of the other pharmacists?
Yeah.
But the Blammer does what the Blammer does.
Yeah, the Blammer does.
What happened? Wait,
Scotty Wiz?
Gabe, how we feeling about... Scotty Wiz.
Scotty Wiz, the Polish hammer?
I actually feel really good about Marquette. I think that their style of play is going to throw other teams off. I don't think teams are going to be allowed to be as physical as St. John's was with them once you hit the tournament, although that kind of becomes a crapshoot with all the different styles of officiating that are out there. I feel really good about this, and I am intrigued to see them match up with Michigan State later this weekend after they win today.
Ooh. Wow, you're that confident.
I am. This senior group is it's just a special senior group, and I do not believe that they are going to go out losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament. I refuse to believe that, as fun and as good as this senior group is.
And you don't think they're worn down at all?
I don't. I do not. Have had time to recover. They last played a game a week ago. Like that's a lot of time to recover. And I guess, and again, I've talked about this before, but as a 21, 22-year-old, I mean, it was college baseball, but whatever. But like as a 21, 22-year-old, like you're always just ready to play. Like your body's ready to go. So I think the recovery time when you're in college is different than when you get professionally and you're in the NBA. You start getting to your upper 20s into your 30s. You got to do all the things that LeBron has had to do to have his body last this long. But in college, especially for the NCAA tournament, no, I don't think they're going to be worn down at all.
Then we got a coin toss, Badgers BYU on Saturday.
Yeah, BYU
right?
look good.
Are you feeling that? Yeah, are you feeling that confident about the Badgers also?
I don't feel as confident, but in fairness, I don't watch the Badgers as much as I watch Marquette.
Yeah.
To have that level of confidence, although I was impressed by the way Wisconsin played yesterday.
And BYU looked good too.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of that game. That's solid. That'll be a good game. That'll be a really good game.
That's going to be is that, Chewy, you know the Mormons better than I do. Is that like a home game for BYU in Denver? Like, does Salt Lake, do they travel to Denver? You got a good feel there?
The Mormon Mafia travels very well. Very well.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many are out there. I mean, there were a lot in the NFL. A lot. And Andy Reid would get me information
Andy Reid, right?
from wherever. Yeah. And I'd be like, how'd you get that information? He'd be like, Mormon Mafia. Yeah. Good stuff.
All right, Craig, enjoy the rest of your time in Los Angeles. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Sounds good. See you, Mormon Mafia.
Craig Carmason joining us here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. If you're looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner, Fifth Third Bank has been shaping the future for businesses for 167 years. And for the last 15 right here in Milwaukee, we offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making, and extensive experience to help you navigate the ever-changing business landscape with your business in mind. So what that means is that with the great team they've assembled here, I love all the people and and the different things that they do at Fifth Third Bank. Fifth Third, they're big enough to provide sophisticated solutions with, again, that 167 years of experience that they have, but they're still empowered to make those local decisions right here in Milwaukee and build strong community connections. Experience the commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN. Stay up to date on the green and gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Who's looking for a deal? Well, Cousin Subs has a better deal just for you. Cousin's new $10 meal deals are now available online only. Choose between a 7.5-inch ham and provolone, turkey breast, or veggie sub, a bag of chips or regular fry, a regular fountain beverage, and cookie at cousinsubs.com or on the mobile app for just $10. Now that's a better deal. Cousin Subs, we believe in better. Available at participating locations only. Offer subject to change without notice.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could beat lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text KING to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text KING to 42424. That's KING to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever. That's 4 lines on unlimited welcome for just $25 a line per month with autopay plus taxes and fees. You'll also get the new iPhone 16 Pro, 4 of them for the entire family when you trade in up to 4 phones from our top brands. That's a new phone for everyone, only on the network you can count on. Verizon. Visit a store today. 20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply for phone offer. See Verizon.com for details.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
TGIM. Thank goodness it's March. Court is in session. Basketball tournament time is the most exciting time of the year. Are you set for tip-off? Get those brackets ready and stock up for all the games with a trip to Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960, we've been your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. With a selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor is sure to make your tournament party a success. So get those brackets together and start the madness. Discount Liquor, 2 locations, Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine. See all of our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Do you like your pickles warm or cold?
Want my pickle a little warm.
Warm's good.
It's better than cold.
Cold can be good too.
Yeah, well, no,
Cold
shrinkage
can
gets
be good.
involved. It's not great.
On 94.5 ESPN.
I do want to tell you about our friends at Ewald Automotive Group, because you can get more with the all-new Kia K4 at Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. Just $188 a month. You get more leg room and more miles per gallon than the Sentra. New 2025 Kia K4s with a whole lot more. $188 a month for buy. Get it with Ewald's exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Yeah, I did not stutter. That's correct. 20 years, 200,000-mile warranty. Visit Ewald Kia of Oconomowoc. Deal expires at month's end. With Ewald, it's always easy. Just go to ewaldauto.com. Chew, a couple of months ago, we spent quite a bit of time talking about a Paul Skeens autograph card that a kid had pulled, and the Pirates had offered up, hey, a bunch of tickets, some autographed merchandise that ultimately the family from L.A. that pulled it, the kid who pulled it, turned down. And the Pirates still decided to give him some cool Paul Skeens stuff because, again, probably unreasonable from someone to L.A. have season tickets for 30 years to go to the Pirates. That card has finally sold. So it went up for auction, and it sold yesterday. Do you have any guess at how much it sold for?
$1.2 million.
Yeah, $1.11 million.
Okay.
It is the second highest card ever. A one-of-one Trout rookie card, Mike Trout rookie card, sold for $3.9 million back in August of 2020. So it is.
That's a bad investment. That's bad.
Probably.
I mean, what if he tanks? We've all seen guys tank.
Sure.
Right? Especially pitchers. I mean, if he tanks, Gabe, and just becomes an average player, that card ain't worth $1.1 million anymore.
Correct.
What makes it worth $1.1 million?
The rarity, it's a one-of-one, it's a rookie, it's autographed, all the things that card collectors look for. Like, those
After
are all the
1 year.
things.
After 1 year.
Yeah, but again, whoever ended up buying it is just assuming that, that Paul Skeens is going to continue to skyrocket. And that they will... And let's be honest, if you're buying the card, I highly doubt that this person is going to resell the card at a later date. They're probably putting it on display in the house. They're putting it in the safe. They're saying, hey, look at this. And look, if the card goes up in value, then he can brag to his friends of, oh, yeah, I bought this for 1.1. It's worth 2.5 now. But I highly doubt whoever bought this is, because again, I understand if you look at it as an investment, oh, you're going to do this and then resell it. I highly doubt the person who bought this, if it ends up being worth anything, sells it, he's probably just going to, display it in the house somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy, if that card's worth that much money, needs to go to the Red Sox, needs to go to the Dodgers, get a little more exposure. He ain't going to get any exposure with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
You can still get plenty of exposure. Yeah.
You think so?
I mean, look how much exposure he has now. He's probably one of the most top 5 recognizable players in baseball.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know him from Adam.
Also, just give him time to run through his contract. He will end up elsewhere.
I'm guessing he is not going to end up a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up in 2 minutes.
Starting to see some delays. Northbound 43 now from North Avenue up to Keefe. The westbound side of 94 a little bit tight from just past 27th Street to about Mitchell Boulevard. Everything else looking okay. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds, breezy, chance for afternoon showers, a high of 55. Tonight, slight chance for rain or snow flurry, cloudy and breezy, a low of 26. Weather is brought to you by Tsunami Express Car Wash. Visit any of their 6 locations in the Milwaukee market today. Try your first wash free when you sign up online at tsunamiexpress.com. Wash, chill, repeat. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Drum roll, please.
Carbliss is here with refreshing new flavors. Introducing their Tropical Bliss Variety Pack. Let the summertime flavors of blood orange, watermelon, raspberry, and grapefruit whisk you away from the winter blues. New flavors, same great Carbliss perks. Every handcrafted cocktail still has 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and just 100 calories. Find the Tropical Bliss Variety Pack in store wherever Carbliss is sold and enjoy your winter passport to paradise. Grab a pack today and discover why Bliss is more with Carbliss.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Why we love it so much, to be honest with
you. Well,
because there's so many other variables and dynamics.
Some more than others.
I'm not betting on the draft if that's what you're insinuating.
I'll tell you what, I'll bet you the next 3 people I ask, 2 of them will say that it looks like Sugar Ray.
How much? $100? $200? $1,000. Hey, wait a second. What are you doing? You're not betting. You know he's not supposed to bet.
Sounds like Jen, Gabe, and Chewy may have a gambling problem.
I'm the only one who's never really taken a big swing with gambling.
Oh, come on. You're on the golf course. Money changing hands all the time.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, don't try and pull a fast one over there, Gabe.
Matter of fact, I'll bet you that flight to Pittsburgh takes off before my flight to Houston.
Not betting.
Friendly way.
No, I made a bet in 3 years. I don't know.
Oh, come on. Keep things interesting. Pass the time.
Okay, how much?
How about 200?
You're on, cowboy.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count.
One thing that I think you have agreed with me on, Chewy, that I've said for a while when it comes to the Green Bay Packers is I think the thing that's holding in the back the most isn't Brian Gutekunst, isn't Matt LaFleur. It's the lack of star players that they have. So I thought we would do a quick little fun exercise here.
Okay.
Of who we think the stars of the Green Bay Packers are and who have the potential to be stars. All right?
Yeah.
Sound like something we can do, have a little fun with?
We can do that.
All right. So
is that 2 separate categories? Ones who are stars,
yes,
and ones who have the potential to be
correct
stars.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Because I think the stars list is very small. I think the stars list is very short.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start with that stars list. I think for me, it's Josh Jacobs and it's Xavier McKinney. Would you want to add anybody else to that list of stars of the Green Bay Packers?
The only one that's on the cusp, I think, is Tucker Kraft. Probably can't dawn him yet.
I would agree. I would have him on the potential stars list. But just to finish off the stars, is there offensive linemen that we're missing? Because the offensive line, he's going to be moving to center, but I think he is their best offensive lineman in a unit that we typically don't have to worry that much about. So if you want to put Elton Jenkins on there, we can. I'll put Jenkins. Is he a star?
Hold on. Let me ask you this, Gabe. Are the stars pretty much all pros?
Like all pros, or like you have the potential to be that. Like if you're a legitimate like Pro Bowl starter, you know what I'm saying? Because like the list of all pros at wide receiver, like I think there are more star wide receivers in the NFL than there were guys that made the All Pro list last year.
Yeah,
you know. So I mean, but a guy that has that potential to reach that level, because the same thing with quarterback. Only 2 guys. You know, there's one first team All Pro quarterback and then a second team All Pro quarterback.
How does it work for guards though? Are there 2 guards?
2 guards. 2 guards.
There's 2 guards and then
2 tackles.
One. Then no, he's not a star because he's not the best guard in the league.
Okay, so Jenkins is not a star.
You have to be the best in the league to be a star.
No, that's not what I'm not saying that. Like you just have to have that. You play at that type of level. Again, because I would argue Devontae Adams wasn't first or second team All-Pro. Had the Packers signed Devontae Adams, he is a star in this league. I think Elton Jenkins belongs on that list.
Stars?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a handful of guards I'd take over him.
Sure, but there's a handful of guards. There's a handful of wide receivers you would take over Devontae Adams. Like
really?
he's one of the top performers at his position, I believe.
Okay. I mean, did Jenkins make the Pro Bowl this year?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
I don't think he can call
I mean,
him a
Pro
star,
Bowls
Gabe.
are so insignificant to me when it comes to offensive
Hey,
line.
watch what you're saying there, mouthy.
He said when it comes to offensive line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. there was the qualifier. Look, you jumped in early, so you didn't hear the qualifier.
The Blammer has a say in who ends up in the Pro Bowl. And people like the Blammer. They're not breaking down. They're voting for the guys on their team.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't think he's a star. He's a really, really good player.
But I would put, I guess, if the offensive line is as good as we say it is, and he's their best offensive lineman, like...
Yeah. I also think he's quickly going to be usurped by Zach Tom.
Yeah, I think that's the chance.
Played very well and said he played not as well as he thinks he's capable of. And a lot of it was due to injury.
Because he was coming off the torn pec. So
he's going to be paid like a star, I can tell you that much.
Zach Tom?
Yes.
Well, because you have to.
Yes.
If you want to keep him. Especially as the way that offensive lineman market just exploded this offseason. But I guess the more interesting thing to me also then is that potential star list. Because, Chewy, you threw Tucker Kraft on there. I will throw Jordan Love on that potential star list.
I will throw Zach Tom on that list.
Okay.
I don't see a receiver that's a potential star, especially after this last year.
Like, I think if you squint, just again because the numbers of how open he gets, I'm not ready to quite put him on the potential star list because there's a lot more growth. I'm not ready to give up on Dontavian Wicks, but I can't say he's a potential star. I'm not ready to give up on him after 2 years.
To get up on him, but he drops a lot of balls, Gabe.
Yeah. That's what and that he has to clean that up. And again, the person that he has been compared to by people inside the building is Devontae Adams, who also had drop problems his second year.
Okay, fair enough.
Again, I'm not like again. I would have to really squint to put him on the potential star list the way he played last year.
Okay, so that's what 1, 2, 3 stars and potential stars 3 as well.
The one we're missing, I would put Edgerrin Cooper on that list.
That's way too early, Gabe. Way too early. Way too early.
What do you mean way too early? You've got a guy who's in his third year in Tucker Kraft.
Same thing about the other line. What's his name? The other line.
You were saying.
I was saying. Yeah.
You were saying. But,
and that's why I'm saying it's way too early.
But the problem here is Edgerrin Cooper actually has some accolades to back that up. Yeah. Like, he was Defensive Player of the Week. He actually makes splash plays, making plays behind the line of scrimmage.
He would have been Defensive Rookie of the Year had he played a full schedule, like a full slate of games.
Yep.
But
again, we're just saying potential. It's not like this guy's going to be a star. No. He's got the potential to be a star.
No, that's like saying Tucker Kraft the year before this last one was a potential star.
Which you did say. Which you did say.
Yep, I think we were saying.
No.
I was comparing him to George Kittle.
Prove it.
Well, I mean, that's where it falls apart. Is because he knows we're not going to go back and actually grab the audio to prove him incorrect.
Is that it on defense?
Yeah. So that's the problem I'm having here, Chew. Is I'm looking at the roster up and down, and is that enough to win a Super Bowl? Having 3 stars and 4 potential stars, is that good enough? Is that good enough? Or do all 4 of those guys have to become stars?
No, because that then your offense would have to be dominant, scoring a lot of points, be able to win multiple shootouts. No, they need more defensive stars, right? I mean, I like the linebacker. I think the linebackers are the linebackers of this team.
It's the best linebacking core of
and if you
recent
go
memory.
Back to when Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, right? Their D-line wasn't great.
No.
But their linebackers were studs.
But their interior was actually pretty good. Like, they didn't have the edge, but like guys like Vita Vea were really good. They had another good D tackle. Like, they were really good up the middle.
Yes. Now, you look to San Francisco, too, because their linebackers the year they lost to Kansas City were studs, but they had a little help on the D line.
They had Bosa.
I believe didn't they have Chase Young and Bosa?
They had traded for Chase Young the year they went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago.
And they also had like 2 or 3 first-round picks at the interior who weren't very good but still were first-round capital.
I mean, just think of these linebackers, the potential of these linebackers if they had a good D-line in front of them. That just makes them better.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, because everything, in football, that's what I think part of the draw is that everything ends up being connected.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of disconnect. It's like somebody is going, if the Packers are going to do some of the things we hope that they can do, someone's got to come out of nowhere and have a huge impact this year. Someone's got to come out of nowhere.
Defensively, you're saying?
Offensively and probably on both sides of the ball, if we're being honest, in order to kind of catapult them into the upper echelon of offenses that are feared.
This is how I'm looking at it, though, Gabe. I'm looking at it just the front four, specifically. Lucas Van Ness, Kenny Clark, and Rashawn Gary. Maybe not Van Ness because he's still on his rookie deal, but those two guys could be gone next year.
Yeah, if they don't play better. If they do not play better. And there was a really interesting article about how Rashawn Gary snaps. I think, was that over at Acme Packing Company?
I saw that.
I believe so.
Okay. I want to get where, his snaps, fell off because the Packers were just desperate to find anybody who could rush the passer. So they were just trying to, we're just going to rotate.
TV.
Oh, it's Cheesehead TV. Yes. Okay, I apologize. And yes, that was on Cheesehead TV.
They do want to be rotational at those positions. They do want fresh legs.
Yeah, because you want fresh legs. But,
your star plays more than everyone else, and they should. And he
was just part of the rotation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This whole fresh leg things, I just don't understand it, okay? I don't understand it. Because when I played, I wasn't out of gas at the end of the year if we were running 65 offensive plays. If anything, I felt better at the 50, 55th, 60th play than I did play 1, 2, 3.
I think the point
I never got tired. I'm never like, hey, I need a blow.
No, I think the point we're getting at is you were effective after 40 snaps in a game.
Yeah.
If you're not effective with 40, you're probably likely to be more with 20. That's what they're trying to do here is you gave them a reason to keep you on the field.
I didn't want to come off the field.
Correct.
But I didn't want to come off
the
field.
But you were also good enough where they didn't want to take you off the field.
I'm sure Rashawn Gary doesn't want to be a rotational edge rusher, but when his defensive line coach and defensive coordinator are looking at it and go, but you haven't gotten home in
So that's
the
an
first half.
excuse. They're just dropping that as an excuse is what you're saying.
No, we're just saying this is a fact that they rotated through. And if Rashawn, because of the position that he plays, he's not going to play 100% of the snaps.
Yeah.
He's going to get subbed out every once in a while, but he should be playing 85% of the snaps. And he's not.
You know when 2 of Reggie's sacks came in the Super Bowl? Any idea?
Fourth quarter.
The very end of the game. Did he look like, hey, he needs
Well,
to
no,
get
because
his legs
again, there was no
freshened up?
reason to take Reggie off of the field. Yeah. What we're saying is that Rashawn has not given them any reason to keep him on the field, and now they're just trying to throw spaghetti at the wall going, well, okay, maybe if you can just go, maybe if you go hard for 40 plays instead of playing the full 65, maybe we can get something out of you. That's all they're trying. That's all they're trying to do is just try to come up with something to try to make somebody effective. Because
that's what worries me, though, about this team is having to reload that defensive line.
It's tough. It's really hard.
Reloading an offensive line, Gabe, you can do pretty quickly.
You've seen,
right?
There have been a lot of offensive linemen. The guy who comes on after us, typically, Mark Tauscher. The dude played in the league for a decade. He was a 7th-round pick. I feel there's more stories of offensive linemen who are mid to late round picks. The Packers have had how many of them in their history? Mid to late round picks, and they end up having success. It's part of the reason why they draft multiple offensive linemen every year. That's not really the case on the defensive line.
No, Joshy, didn't you say that most of the stud interior and outside D linemen are typically chosen in the first 15?
Yeah, they're typically not really making it past the top 10 picks even because defensive line and edge rusher is so dependent on athleticism, and those guys who can combine both production in college and extreme athleticism, they just don't fall in the draft because they are rare combinations of size, speed, and production. I do want to give a shout out though to 4th round pick Mike Daniels, who feels like the last guy I can remember who came in as not a top 2 round guy that made an impact pretty much instantly, and then for a good 6-7 years with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a guy like him. Carl Brooks felt like going into last season a potential. He made some impact, and then I didn't see him much.
But, I mean, other than the block kick, I couldn't tell you anything that
he wasn't
Carl Brooks did.
At times, he just didn't play a lot, which would probably tell me
Green Bay's
he's
had a ton
not.
of them. Green Bay's had a ton of them. Aaron Campbell, what round was he? 5th?
Something like that.
Sounds right. I don't know.
Great player. KGB, what was he?
I think he was a 3rd.
Great pick.
And look, there are some people on top, like Trey Hendrickson led the league in sacks. He was a 3rd round pick. Nick Benito was a 2nd round pick in 2022, with top of the draft. Daniil Hunter has had a long career despite being a 3rd round pick. Andrew Van Ginkel, who I don't think anybody expected much out of when he was initially drafted, he signed a free agent deal and he exploded last year for the Minnesota Vikings, having double-digit sacks.
Typically, the only guys you find that are that's the combination that you see in the top half of draft. Those are usually small school guys.
Yes.
That end up for whatever reason. But Mike Green from Marshall is going to be a top 20 pick, most likely. And those guys just weren't that early of picks. He went to the Senior Bowl, balled out, impressed everyone. And now it's for surefire 1st round pick territory.
Yeah. But the guys we're talking about in Defensive Player of the Year conversations, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
TJ Watt.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
These guys are high draft picks.
Well, Lucas Van Ness at 13. That's pretty high, Gabe.
Yeah.
Looking like a swing and a miss.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not looking great. Yeah. Not looking great for him now.
What would I have to set his over-under on sacks in 2024 to get you to take the over? 2.5?
2.5.
Come on.
2.5. Well, if I set it at 3.5, you taking the over? Exactly.
What do you set it? What do you set it for Rashawn Gary?
6.5.
I was going to say 7.5.
That's aggressive.
Sometimes he's flirted with double digits.
Yeah, I mean he's had multiple 3-sack games. He disappears for a while after, but he has a 3-sack game in the opener. You're going to feel good until he doesn't have another sack until week 10. He hasn't had a 3-sack game in a while.
No, this upcoming season is about 2 positions, and that's it. 2 positions.
What, wide receiver and defensive end?
Yep, that's it. That's it. They play like they did last year. They'll do exactly what they did this year.
I also want to dive into this because this is something that came up earlier this week. The Green Bay Packers, as we know, are hosting the draft next month. They are adding an interesting part of Wisconsin to the draft experience. I don't know if this is going to go as well as they think. We dive into that coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
It is tournament time, and I had another winning night on Wanna Parlay. I took Purdue's Braden Smith over on points, and Houston covered 28.5. Wanna Parlay is the new daily fantasy app that I just found out about that has the largest payouts on parlays. I downloaded Wanna Parlay on my phone, and it's so much fun. You can compete against me and other Jen, Gabe, and Chewy listeners to see you can combine a few picks and build the best parlay. Today, I'm going to be looking at Colorado State minus 1.5, and maybe a little Arizona to cover 14.5 against Akron. Here's what you should do. Download the Wanna Parlay app. Click around if you decide to upload money to play. Get into the action and use promo code JGC. That's code JGC for a 100% deposit match for up to $250. Put in $20, they'll give you 20 more. Download Wanna Parlay app, use promo code JGC, and let's play the world's richest parlay today. Code JGC. And on top of that, Wanna Parlay is giving away a trip to San Antonio to attend the Men's College Basketball National Championship on April 7th 2025. It gives you round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night stay at a hotel in San Antonio, and 2 tickets to the national championship game. So don't miss out on that special offer going on right now. You must be 18 or older to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER today.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Super light ride this morning. We do have one crash on 41 northbound at Highway Q, and that is off on the left shoulder. Really not affecting your ride at all. The only other spot we've got any delays is northbound 43 right past Keefe. Traffic is brought to you by Adams, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Severe weather has arrived. Don't be left with no power. For power peace of mind for your home or business, visit adamspower.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds and breezy. Chance for afternoon showers, a high of 55. Tonight, a slight chance for rain or snow flurries. Cloudy and breezy, a low of 26. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Market, 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Want to know where the snow is? Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP is buried in it over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season alone. Skip the airport hassle and head to the UP's only resort with high-speed lifts. We're talking deep snow, zero crowds, and a season that stretches well into April. Why fly south when winter's best-kept secret is right here in your backyard? Make this spring break legendary at Snow River Mountain Resort. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. Visit snowriver.com to book now.
Are you ready to shake things up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee? All you gotta do is toss your rewards card into your favorite slots for drawing entries and a chance to be in the Roll for Riches game show. What's on the table? Oh, just $300K in cash and prizes. Play this March, and Thursday nights, you could get on a winning streak that, frankly, you deserve. Let it ride and Roll for Riches. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage-as-a-service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time and switch to the expensive shampoo with amino acids. Sure, you don't know what those are or why you need them, but it sounds very impressive. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can massage it into your scalp every day. Now, if only you can get people to lean toward your head to smell those aminos. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shampoo. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Big hurt.
I heard that's like, eh.
Ron and the Keyway and saying, you guys should slow down before you take on a sponsor.
Here I am.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Just let me cry a little bit longer. I ain't gonna smile.
I think we all agree that a good dive bar is a part of the Wisconsin experience. And the Packers agree with that, too. And with the draft coming up, Chew, The Packers have decided that they are doing a Packers Everywhere Draft House, which is a Wisconsin dive bar themed activation inside the draft footprint when it's up at Lambeau Field next month. And some of the things they're going to have in there, they're not going to be serving actual alcohol in there. I'm guessing that's kind of tough, and they'll have different areas where you can obviously do that.
How the hell do you call it a bar then?
Well, because it's just an area you go to. But we're going to have pull tabs, shake of the day. I mean, these are staples in the Wisconsin dive bar experience. Where you lose me is fans can also enjoy a DJ, 360 photo booth, Packers alumni appearances, which, again, I get, and then Packers-themed prizing and more. Look.
Nope.
I don't know if I've ever been to a dive bar that's had a DJ or a photo booth.
No.
You can't. The problem with a dive bar, I think you can have the idea of maybe you purchased a dive bar and you know it. But to me, like a dive bar just kind of, it evolves into that.
It's organic.
Yes. It just eventually becomes it.
You see many, many places now that try and achieve a dive bar aesthetic with all brand new things, and it just doesn't hit the right notes.
Doesn't hit.
I also think if you
that seat's too nice. I can't be sitting there. This isn't a dive bar.
Why isn't the stuffing falling out of the back? Why is there not a solid sheen of dirt on the floor?
There has to be a waft of grits too.
Yes. That has just been caked into the walls from over 20 years ago when you could still smoke in the bar.
Our dive bar down here, right? It's walkable. You guys all seen pictures of it.
Yep.
Love it, right?
Oh, and it's got the great feature of the dollar bills on the wall down there, Chew. That is another great one.
They did away with smoking. Now, I'm not big on smoking, but when you come to a dive bar, there has to be a waft. This is the problem, okay? It changes the clientele. The clientele, after they got rid of smoking, has no respect for the people who created the dive bar. They sit in my seat. They're too loud. They play Iggy Azalea on the jukebox. What are we doing? And me and Angie are like, please, we tell the owner, please go back to smoking.
Wait, so in Florida, it's like the bar's choice if you can smoke or not?
Yeah. They kind of
also
the system a little bit.
Yours kind of can get away with it too because aren't there like open or screened in sides?
Or like a smoking area?
Oh, it's a different place. Gotcha.
This is a different place because we have about probably more, like 10 of them down here we love. What they have to have, you have to have toothless people, right? People that
I'm missing
that are there every now. You got to have those. Yeah, jukebox is key, right?
Yes,
but also what the songs in the jukebox are key. You got to be Metallica. You got to be Motley Crue. You got to be Grateful Dead. You have to be Willie Nelson, right?
That's important.
David Allan Coe.
There you go. The tapper has to kind of stink and smell like stale beer. And
hasn't been cleaned in years.
There has to be like pretzel brands or chip brands you've never heard of in your entire life.
That little rack of chips. Yes.
A pizza oven's nice.
I think if they want
if you don't have frozen pizza available at your dive bar, you're not a dive bar.
I think if the Packers really want to hit a home run with this, they need to do like a central casting call, and they could probably just go to the different locations of dive bars around Green Bay. You have to have guys or ladies.
There is somebody in the corner. Yeah. That is their spot. They are a regular. They have a specific look.
Yes. They have to be just at the bar the entire time. I think you could put a couple brewskis in front of somebody and they'd happily do that and get paid for it.
Again, they had me early. Pull tabs, shake of the day. Like, okay, DJ.
Yeah.
Like if I hear that air horn, I'm not at a dive bar.
There also has to be ice in the urinal. Josh, right?
Preferably. I need a leak of some sort around the urinals. It may not affect it, but just some water, some nascent water leaking down the walls and floors. Yeah.
What about condoms in the bathroom? That is big.
It's a nice touch.
That is a good touch.
It is a nice touch. I don't think that's required.
No.
But it's a nice touch.
I need the sink not to work properly. Like only the hot or cold works.
Yeah.
I think next year, since we should do a best Milwaukee dive bar bracket if we're going to do another one.
Oh.
That one, I think, could get some real interesting.
Great ones, Gabe, up by you. I don't know what town it is. But I'll drive up there from the lake. It's straight up P. I don't even, it's got to be a town of like 75 people.
Okay.
But I could come up with, I couldn't do downtown Milwaukee, Joshy, but out and about, there's some solids.
We could do a Milwaukee area and then a larger area. Because, the plywood bar, infamously, I forget what city that's in, but the bathrooms are just plywood and you pee on the ground.
I've never seen that or heard of it.
I'll send you a link to the plywood bar. It is okay. It is a true adventure.
This is a great idea. I think we need to make sure we keep this one in the pocket for next year.
Yeah.
Start trying to cultivate ideas in the different bars, and that way we're ready to go for March Madness next year.
And then the two winners, we go to each of them before.
Oh, the finalists?
Yes.
Ooh.
Now that would be a good bracket.
Danielle text in on the Carblish Talking text line, 800-990-3776. Illegal video poker. Yes. No, you got to have some sort of casino game that's up on the wall, 100%. That is another thing that goes into the dive bar. Yeah, faucets from the 30s. I think that's kind of what we were talking about.
You can't have the ticket, Gabe. You cannot have the ticket. The ticket means it's too bougie. NFL ticket or any.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
When you said the ticket, I'm like, a ticket to get in? Of course. Yeah.
No. The NFL ticket.
What's over the air.
Yeah.
That's it. You'll be happy.
800-990-3776 is the Carblish Talking text line. Let's go to Randy in a dump truck. Randy, you're on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Morning, guys. Hey, Mr. Chimura, are you thinking about Tom and Dies on Highway P?
What's the name of the town? It's like P and I want to say P and 60. Yeah, I think
way out there. Oh.
Yeah,
okay,
it's way up.
Tom and Dies is it is. That's more by Hartford.
Yeah, it's west of Hartford, but what the best thing that they have is the screen door. Right? You just pull the screen door.
I think I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I remember that place.
The fact that you can recognize the bar by a screen door. Yes, that is a dive bar.
Am I right? Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about, but the fact that Randy does is perfect. It illustrates the point perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Also perfect for a dive bar to not really know the name. It's just the place we stop.
Yep.
Because we know it's there. We don't really know anything about it.
Which is why we're going to need a year to cultivate a bracket.
Because the sign outside is just Schlitz.
Whatever the name of it that used to be on there is worn out.
Yes.
It has not been there for years.
Hold on, with someone living upstairs.
Again,
a nice touch.
Nice touch.
Yes.
If somebody's living upstairs, preferably the owner, yes, that is a nice little touch. We've got to play some Week in Read, Chew. We do that. Coming up next, Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Super light ride this morning. We do have one crash on 41 northbound at Highway Q, and that is off on the left shoulder. Really not affecting your ride at all. The only other spot we've got any delays is northbound 43 right past Keefe. Traffic is brought to you by Adams, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Severe weather has arrived. Don't be left with no power. For power peace of mind for your home or business, visit adamspower.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, increasing clouds and breezy. Chance for afternoon showers, a high of 55. Tonight, a slight chance for rain or snow flurries. Cloudy and breezy, a low of 26. Weather's brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
An infrared sauna in your home? Turn that dream into a reality with Good Health Saunas. ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here. My infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas has changed my life. An easy-to-install sauna that's great for post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification. See their variety of sauna options at the Realtors Home and Garden Show, March 21st through the 30th at State Fair Park, or visit goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen and get $500 to $800 off. That's goodhealthsaunas.com/Jen.
Michelle Smallman here. Are you dreaming of seeing your team draft their next superstar? Travel Wisconsin is sending 10 lucky fans and a guest to the draft in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Witness unforgettable moments and make memories that will last a lifetime. Don't miss out. Enter Travel Wisconsin's Dream Draft Sweepstakes. Visit travelwisconsin.com/draft to learn how you can win a trip to experience the biggest moment of the offseason. Epic moments that become lifelong memories are waiting to be discovered across Wisconsin. Terms and conditions apply.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's two things she counts in the house. One of the pictures. What do you think the other one is?
Firearms.
Viagra.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Let me tell you about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. You know how much we love Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin right here on ESPN Milwaukee. And we talk a lot about the unprecedented quality and service you get from Pella. And when you talk to the people that work there, you can tell how much they genuinely love what they do. And that's what I love about Pella, is the people are passionate about what they do. And they're with you from start to finish after the sale. They're not just going to disappear on you, which means right now you can take advantage of their great deals going on. You can get windows as low as $22 per month, doors as low as $89 per month. In the process, talking with Mrs. back at home, we're looking at getting that new front door. Of course, we would only get it from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/31/2025. Get started today. PellaWI.com. Before we get to We Can Reach You, a lot of people have texted in. Rubicon. Are you looking? Is it the Roadhouse or is it the Rubicon? Okay,
yes.
Rubicon Ranch, the Roadhouse in Rubicon.
Yes, the Roadhouse.
Okay,
Love it.
That is a lot of people texting in saying, pretty sure he's talking about a place in Rubicon.
There's another one in Stone Bank, Gabe, that I love going to. It's called Kuntz's. It's a country store.
Oh, general store. Yeah, Craig in Sussex literally just texted about that. Dive bar with canned beer, Amish candy, and cannibal sandwiches on Fridays.
Yep. Delish. Love that place.
Let's go ahead and get to the Week in Rechew.
Think you know the show better than the average ESPN Milwaukee fan? Now's your chance to prove it. It's time to play the Week in Rechew.
We've got 5 things that Chewy has said throughout the course of this week, and we quiz him to see how much he remembers about what he said. Chew, you get 3 right, you win. You get 3 wrong, you lose. Ready to play?
Let's do it.
Question
number
number...
Kind of feels like it's the pregnancy of war bonds.
What are the pregnancy of war bonds?
The bonds that you get for first communion or a birthday, right? Savings bonds.
All right, there he eventually got to it. Eventually got to it. Savings bonds, the correct answer. You're off to a hot start. You're 1-1. Question number 2.
I want to compare booze.
Compare boobs?
Well, there's that. And no, booze.
Who did you want to compare booze between?
No idea.
B-O-O-S.
No idea.
That would be Rodgers and Favre returning as Vikings.
What does that have to do with booze?
Booze. B-O-O''S. Booing. Boo.
Oh, I thought you meant with a Z on it.
Yeah, that's why I tried to spell it out for you.
I was like, what? I think, yeah. You guys want to compare booze? I don't
guessing,
think anything will get the Favre level.
So here, that's the thing. Like, I don't think Rodgers, when he comes back, after he's retired, after he's done, he's not going to get the cheers that Favre got. He would not get the booze that Favre got if he returns to Lambeau as a Viking.
That's fair.
Like, because, again, the emotion was real. People were tremendously hurt by what Brett did.
Now, Gabe, that was a total setup question by Joshy. Total setup. We're sitting here talking about dive bars and what goes in there. We got booze on our mind, and he follows it with B-O-O-S.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Set you up.
Yeah, okay.
And you fell for it. Question 3.
Don't ever tell me what to do on my property.
What? Didn't even have to ask the question.
Yeah. Yes.
Wait, somebody tried to tell you not to put up a fence?
No, told me what kind of fence they want. When the fence is already there, except I need to add 15 feet of it, and the fence is not very old. It's a lovely fence. You know?
His neighbor tore something down that was on their property that Chewy helped them replace. Once they tore it down, they decided, here's the specific type of fence we'd like to put on your property to close off this portion now.
You don't do that.
No.
You got to have some pretty big seeds to go in, right?
That's cojones.
Yeah, that is.
Question 4.
He's dead to us.
Well, who's dead to us?
Ashton.
Pretty good default guess. If you had a second guess, who would you say?
He's dead to us. Can I get a little context or no?
Apparently not.
He's dead to us. Right? That would be my only other guess.
Ben Brust. Ben Brust.
Oh, how did I forget that?
Yeah.
Where are we at with that now?
With what?
Uncomfortableness?
Oh, the whole Joshy getting invited, uninvited, not actually invited to the wedding of Ben Brust.
Obviously see one another in the office. Is it uncomfortable? Is it strange? Is it under the bridge?
This might be. And again, Josh, you have spent a lot of time with Ben Brust, so maybe I'm speaking out of turn. And maybe it's maybe it's number 1 on the power rankings, but I'm assuming it's not the first time Ben has done something uncomfortable with you.
Yeah, no, I've seen and talked to Ben since. I was up for 2 segments of KBN. It's no sweat off my back. No.
So you're not a grudge holder at all.
There is one thing that I know extremely, extremely well. Probably akin to the way Gabe knows you. I know Ben. And I know where this comes from. I understand how it happens. And it is not anything I wouldn't expect from him. So I've taken it as face value. There's no real maliciousness behind it. It is just an error in judgment. And a guy who gets in over his head a lot.
It's just really the fact that he's dumb, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's
okay.
90%.
That's the way to put it. Yeah. Okay.
All right, you've gotten 2 right, you've gotten 2 wrong. This week's game all comes down to question number 5.
I'm out. I was fighting with
he really
you.
is
I have
out.
No idea.
What did I do that caused you to throw your headset down and leave the show?
Ask Goody to marry you. You have a newfound love for Goody, and I don't know where. Yeah, you've been.
Well, no, I just.
You know what? Since the end of the season, Gabe, you've been incredibly inconsistent. I
just don't know what else Goody was supposed to do this offseason with a bad free agent class.
Josh?
I side with Gabe here.
Like, you can have your gripes against Goody. Again, I am disappointed he did not even reach out to Davante Adams. That's disappointing to me. But that's really only the thing I can get truly upset about.
What he did was power.
But the answer to the question is I power rank the Packers second in the NFC North.
Okay. Yeah.
Which made you upset. But then once I told you why, and then you asked some follow-up questions, it seemed like you were okay with.
Yeah, because if you said if Darnold was back there, then you'd pick Minnesota ahead of.
But I have no idea.
Let me ask you this, though.
Yeah.
I know we're up against it, but from a free agent standpoint, who did a better job this year? Minnesota or Green Bay?
So who is the big Vikings?
Well, they had some defensive players, right, Josh?
They retained the
They returned
defensive line.
Byron Murphy.
2 guys, I believe.
I thought they signed a D end or an interior D lineman.
Yeah, I think it's 2 D tackles they signed.
But again, like it's not like. Sure, they got some guys who might be a little above average. I'm not.
Wow, you're going back. You're going backwards.
No, just quarterback's the most important position in the sport, and they have no idea what they're doing at that position.
Ribbit. All right. You don't want to admit it. I'll get it out of you at some point in time. I'm not worried about it.
You know how to exercise that? You've figured it out in the past?
Mm-hmm.
One of the key components that we have talked about at dive bars is frozen pizza. Of course, you can always stock up at frozen pizza at your house with our friends at Palermo's Pizza. And right now, Bucs fans, great deal going on. Screamin' Sicilian, Michelob Ultra, they have teamed up to offer you a hot deal. Stop by your local Pick and Save or Metro Market store and save up to $6 on the purchase of 1 Screamin' Sicilian tavern-style pizza when you purchase 1 Michelob Ultra 30-pack. That's right. Get 1 Screamin' Sicilian tavern-style pizza, 1 Michelob Ultra 30-pack, save up to $6 at Pick and Save or Metro Market. The deal goes through April 1st, so make sure you take advantage of this deal. Watch some hoops, have some great pizza with our friends at Palermo's and Screamin' Sicilian, and taste what all the screaming's about.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We all know Potawatomi Casino Hotel for its gaming, entertainment, and now, of course, its state-of-the-art sportsbook. But have you tried some of the food there recently? Hey, it's Jen Latta. I'm here with Sarah Neubauer from Potawatomi Casino Hotel, and we are about to dive into these dining specials.
Yes, let's start off with our Dream Dance Steakhouse, where we have 3 dining specials to choose from. The first special is our Sunday Feast for 2, which includes fresh Caesar salads, a huge 24-ounce New York strip, 2 lobster tails, whipped potatoes, asparagus, chocolate cake, and a bottle of wine, all just for $120.
That is an incredible deal at a very nice restaurant. What else is going on at Dream Dance?
Our steakhouse is also doing a prime rib dinner and wine special on Thursdays. This prime rib dinner comes with a choice of super salad, an herb-crusted prime rib with rich au jus sauce and creamy horseradish, a choice of potato, and a seasonal vegetable. Enjoy it all for just $48 a person.
Delicious. And don't forget about the half-off select bottles of wine on Thursdays, too. What's the third dining special for Dream Dance Steakhouse at Potawatomi?
It's the Fisherman's Feast, and it's one of 5 fish specials offered every Friday now through April 18th all around the casino. So we have the Fisherman's Feast at Dream Dance. This includes fried shrimp, scallops, and so much more. It really is a feast. Plus, Rock and Brews will have a beer-battered fish and chips. Burger Co. at the Marketplace is serving a fish sandwich. Canal Street Cafe, the tuna melt, and the Sportsbook has the classic Wisconsin fish fry with beer-battered Pacific cod.
Yeah, this time of year, I know a lot of people are looking for fish options on Friday. That's over 10 restaurants all under one roof and all at Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Where can everyone go to learn more?
Potawatomi.com.
That's Potawatomi.com.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, Carbless Mango Vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new Carbless Mango Vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Picture it. Beautiful plants, freshly mowed lawn, crisply edged flower beds, and your grilling dinner out on an incredible back patio. Landworks Wisconsin is ready to plan your green space. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all your landscaping needs. Their team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
But she doesn't know. Every now and then, I got the blammer coming up and I'll let you use my tractor for 2 of the blue things. Which I think's a pretty good deal. Which gets me in trouble.
You got a Viagra ring?
Yeah. On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
You know what makes me happy? My wife being happy. That's why I go to the jewelry center. Let's be honest, most guys don't have a clue when it comes to buying jewelry. Gabe's one of the smart ones. He got the engagement ring and the wedding bands from the jewelry center for his wedding in 2022. They also do in-house repairs for watches and other fine jewelry like my championship ring. When I need it to be worked on, I know where I'm going, the jewelry center. They have 3 locations to stop into: Greenfield, Brookfield, and Burlington. And if my wife can't tag along, she can look through all the mini styles and diamonds and other fine cuts online at shoptjc.com. I'm living proof. Happy wife, happy life. The Jewelry Center will make it happen. Brookfield, Greenfield, and Burlington, and online at shoptjc.com.
Thank you to everybody for participating today. Love all the suggestions we have for what makes a perfect Wisconsin dive bar. Wilde and Tausch coming up next.
Everything seems to be moving along just fine now. No major delays around the area.